Hi guys, welcome back to Isabel's Hate Addict with Crafts, and we're in a little bit different view because I finally got some time to do a stitch with me or a craft with me. The white dragon is what we're going to be working on. We're up here in this corner here, and this one's from Artisy. They also do full coverage. This chart you can also find on the Hade website, but this one is Artisy. And I'm stitching this on 28 count 2/2. Glenna started this piece and I am finishing it for her. I'm slowly but surely stitching on her. If you haven't seen my recent Floss 2 update, you will know that I've completed row 2 and I'm working on my the final row 3. So I only have 6 pages on to go. I'm working on the partial page, and then I have 5 full pages to go. But I figured I'd do this even though my husband's home. He's talking to his brother right now. But I think he's gonna end up playing some D&D. And that is, for anyone who doesn't know, that's Dungeons and Dragons. And you will notice it looks a little bit different than what I have been doing, because I've decided to kind of try this diagonal, not parking, but diagonal cross country. So within the diagonal, I've chose the 20 diagonal block to do the cross country. So that's why, like, some of this here, I just worked on this little bit here this morning, and I decided to work on it with you guys. This one's already kind of parked up here because there was one that didn't have a second leg, and so I have it parked up here. And I didn't grade because I didn't feel like it. That's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna thread my needle. So I kind of go like this. Pull it down, and then within my fingers, push it up like that. So how has everyone been doing? It's been a little crazy for me. Just because life and whatnot. So I know I talked a little bit about going to the doctor and whatnot. I can kind of go more into depth here. So I hadn't been, like, I'd been, like, to be honest, I took like a 3-hour nap yesterday at like 6 and woke up at like 8:30, like, insane. But it was about, when did I go to the doctor? I think it was it had to have been at least last month. So I went to the doctor. I explained to her how I have been really tired, brain foggy, and I want to get my, like, thyroid checked and a couple other things to make sure, because I don't feel okay. Like, I don't feel right. And I told her, I'm like, I don't want to be told when my results come back that everything's fine, but I don't feel fine. And so she was listening, and I thought she was understanding and whatnot. And I get a call, and they're like, oh yeah, your T4 is high and your T3 is low, and they cancel each other out. I was like, wait, what? Like, so you're telling me because one is high and one is low, they cancel each other out? Are you sure? That doesn't sound right. And she's like, yeah. So I asked my Aunt Dawn, which would be my husband's aunt, because she deals with similar like thyroid issues, and I was like, this doesn't seem right. And she was like, no, it's not. And we've talked before, and basically the T4 converts to T3, which the T3 is just one of the thyroid stuff, converts to energy. So my T3 was low. It was out of range by 1 point, but she felt because it was point 0.1, it was fine. Out of range, like. But my T4 was in range, but high, which one of two things can be happening. My T4 is just not converting to T3, or it's converting to the reverse T3, which just stores it and doesn't really do anything. And so literally she told me everything was fine, even though my body's not converting it to energy. She did tell me to take a higher dose of vitamin C because my vitamin C was low. So I did that, but I've been doing that for a while and I still feel exhausted. I think I've been taking 2,000 milligrams, and before I was taking like 500 or something like that. So yeah, I was like, this is not right, and I was talking to my Aunt Dawn, and it didn't make sense. It didn't feel comfortable, so I contacted her. I was like, I feel kind of frustrated, but I've been told I'm fine, and I'm not, and that I'm supposed to be making energy, and my body's not. And she basically told me she didn't feel comfortable changing anything with my medicines, and that if I wanted to, I could go see an endocrinologist. But she didn't refer me to an endocrinologist. No. I had to find one myself. So that was a bit frustrating on my side. I had to like look and search, and so I just went, because I have an app, I can look up all my results and whatnot, and so I just looked up endocrinologist, because then I know like my insurance will cover, because it's still through the same hospital. And it's just at a different location. So like I've tried like eating better, doing the paleo keto type like mix, and it's just like, I expressed this to my adult. I was like, I've tried everything, and like to be healthy and whatnot, and like to know that like whether you're being healthy or not and you feel exactly the same is kind of frustrating. And like she understands, and then when I tell my husband, he doesn't quite understand, because he's never had to, it's different if you haven't gone through it, you don't understand. But yeah, it was just frustrating. So I called, make an appointment, and they're like, oh, did your doctor refer you? I was like, no, she said I could see an endocrinologist, but she didn't refer me to one. And so the person who was helping me make the appointment suggested the one that her and her daughter go see. And because there was a cancellation, I was able to get in sooner than like 3 months, which is awesome. So, I have one more full week of work, and then we are on vacation for a week. I'm going to be driving out to Branson, Missouri. see my mother-in-law, my brother and sister-in-law, and then my sister-in-law's boyfriend's coming, and then Aunt Dawn and Uncle Chris, and then I think they're bringing Aunt Dawn's bringing her mother-in-law, just because I've been staying with him, but we'll see. But it should be fun. And we went last year in like June and had a blast, so I am definitely looking forward to this. I had to count to make, because I don't have it gridded, I want to make sure I have it counted right. If you can hear my husband, I'm sorry. We closed the door to tell him I want to close the door because you kind of talk loud. I'm like, unless you want to be on my YouTube channel, closing the door. And you kind of see my back, I guess. I don't really care what the back looks like. And that's the neighbor's dog, if you can hear that. The one that lives on the second floor barks at literally anything and everything. Okay. I'll pick my next color. Okay. So go right here. The next color is 823. How is this missing? I have 824. Alright, I'm looking for this color, and for some reason I can't find it. No, it's not 823, it's 824. Is it missing again? I think I'm just straight up missing it. Because we have 823, but I need 820. Oh, it literally was staring at me the whole time. Annoying. Whatever. I found it. So I'm using 2 strands, so I kind of unwind it, hold it out, and then like to the center of my chest or whatnot, and then I like clip it for like 2 strands. For one, I'll go from like my hand to like the middle here, and that's about a good length for me. I'm not exact, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, depending on like how I feel or if there's a lot of stitches in that area. I don't remember what we're talking. We're talking about the doctor and stuff, and yeah. So I have an appointment after our vacation on the 26th. So I have a half day. I would have just taken the full day, but then I still have a half day if I need. Because I don't know if I'll be needing to go to a doctor. My yearly checkup, because technically she did do all like my vitals and stuff, and I didn't tell her to do that, but whatever. So just gonna search up here, and hopefully you can see that. I have it angled where I can kind of see it, so I can see what you guys see. So there's been a couple changes at work. We recently got a new hire. So there's a process of going through and interviewing and stuff like that. And so my boss came up from Kansas City because, yes, he's working in Kansas City. We're in Nebraska. Because he's being transitioned into a new job there, and so I'll be taking my coworker John's spot, and John will be taking boss's job, and then the new hire will be eventually doing what I'm doing now. So just good. She started this Monday, and don't have a computer. It makes it very interesting. So she's been just kind of watching me, doing some filing, type of things. So it's been very interesting, to say the least. Because I still have the new things I'm doing, plus having to like show her, and like, because I'm training everything, me showing her is done like, how do I explain? Every time I show her, it's a lot slower because I'm explaining, and like, I'm talking constantly, and there's probably a bird or a squirrel outside, and my cat likes to like run back and forth and try to like catch them, but she can't because there's a glass window or door. So yeah, so that was interesting. It'll be a transition for sure, but once she finally has her computer and whatnot, it'll be good, because it'll alleviate a lot of issues at work. So I'll be able to focus on some new things and actually get some things done, instead of having to like hold them off till like the next morning, kind of a thing. So technically all these ones are done in the diagonal, the color I'm working on, but I'm just gonna go ahead and work the rest of this color till I'm done. and then I'll pick my next color in this diagonal. So it's kind of how I did it before, where I did it in the row, but and then kind of like feathered out to the next row. This is the same thing except for I'm doing it in the diagonal, so I just feather out until into the next one and vice versa. I probably should have you on my other side, but that's okay. But yeah. So my mania was the goal of getting what, 16,000 a week on this, and then the new part for the Dark Queen release, and there's like 5,000 stitches in that one, because it's a lot of like solid full stitches, so I've kind of backed off of doubling my stitches on this one for the month. So my goal will just be to get like my regular 800 stitches, because I'm gonna try. No promises, but I'm gonna try and get that other part done. The part, I think it's part 9 that released. Done. Because then after 9, we have two more sections of like cross stitches, and then we get to do all the back stitching, all the other back stitching and beading, which I've never beaded before, so I'm kind of nervous. I think it's kind of similar, to cross stitch, except for like you have a bead, but I'll definitely have to research how to bead because I've never beaded. I have like, I think 3 projects on the go now that require beads, but I haven't yet had to do that. So it kind of makes me nervous because I'm like, how do you bead with like just a frame, I mean, I have 11 by 17, but not a lot of the projects will fit in there, or I don't know. Do I just end up beading it hand, or just finagling it, or I don't know. I thought about getting like a scroll frame just so I can bead my projects. But I don't know. If you have any suggestions on tips of beading, let me know. Okay, sorry, I was counting. I didn't want to mess anyone up if they're also counting. Okay, I'm gonna grab a tissue because my nose is running. Oh, wow, it was really full. Okay, that's better. Feel better now. Okay. guys working on? Are you working on like cross stitch or diamond painting or cooking or planning? I'd love to know. Usually when I sometimes when I watch Stitch With Me's, I'll be stitching, or sometimes I'll be like cooking dinner, or sometimes cleaning. Yeah. Now I'm gonna flip it over. Normally I have it in a grime guard, but when I have it in the grime guard, because I'm working on the far right side, there's a lot of fabric that gets controlled at one side, so I just take it out and let it hang. Okay, so we finished that color, so we're kind of working up in here. Let's see. We have a few stitches of this one over here. And when I mean a few, I mean a few. I think there's like 1, 2, 3, 6 stitches, but that's okay. It makes doing confetti bearable, which is nice. So yeah. Sometimes if I have 2 lengths, I'll do the loop method, and then if I have one where I've already done it, I'll just weave it into the back and stitch it that way. The first one I always want to be careful so I don't like pull it out and have to redo it, because I've done that before where I've hulked it out and pulled it out and then had to put it back in, and sometimes I do that several times in a row because I think I'm pulling like super lightly and it comes out anyway. And I have my Ursula on here because she's got a lot of blues and whatnot. Some highlighting. So I think my goal will get at least 400 today, and then I might switch to the Dark Queen and then see how much I can get done on her today, and then I might switch back over and do some more on this one, but we'll see. I don't think I have any plans this weekend. Next weekend I have a graduation party I'm going to, and then the next day, Sunday, we will be driving out to Branson, Missouri. I'm so excited. I'm excited. And sneak peek, I had ordered some fabric so I could do one of the Joan Elliott's I got, the Joni Elliott Enchanted Aurora, I believe that's what's called. It doesn't give a suggested fabric. It says you can use on whatever fabric. And so I'll just show you a sneak peek before my floss tube. But this is the fabric I got, and I freaking want to start it. But I only get one freebie, but yeah. So I got Cosmos Opal. So it kind of looked like Galaxy, Sky, Dark, what I'm looking for. And then there's another pattern I just bought from Bella Twix or whatever, and this is the fabric that's called. So now I have to get another piece of Cosmos or another galaxy looking one, and I can do that one on here because it looks stunning, the one that's called for. And then maybe get a different galaxy type piece for Enchanted Aurora. But with that order, I also, well, technically because I was getting floss, I wanted to have something that wouldn't travel alone. So I got 50 yards of Stardust of Be Stitched Me's hand-dyed silk. And it's got a lot of like light blues, grays, purples. That's showing true. It's like stunning. So my thought process with this is I'm starting on my birthday. I get a legal free start for No New Starts, and I'm gonna be starting, which project am I starting? I'm starting, don't make a mess over here. I will be starting Epic Storybook Princesses. So this is the black and white version. I printed it off at work when I was supposed to be working, but shh, it's okay. And so I've sort of kitted up, and so I am missing a couple of the DMCs, but for the most part I have pretty much kitted it up. I'm missing probably like 5 or 6 colors, maybe 7, but then I made my own floss drops. I used construction paper. I got my big circle, a smaller circle, and then a hole punch, and so I have on the front the DMC code, and then on the back the symbol for that color. So I just did like 1 or 2 lengths, and then when I run out I can just add more from my master set. But yeah, so that is that. And then I know I've showed you this, but just because we're talking about fabrics and whatnot, this is the needle minder I'll be using for this project because it fits. Fabric I'm going to be using for this project is 40 count Nova. So it's a very light purple and blue kind of tones of pinks, like purples, pinks, and blues. But yeah, that's actually showing kind of true to color. So it's very light. So yeah, that is my birthday start on the 13th. So if any of you aren't doing No New Starts and you've been wanting an excuse to start it, well, you can start it with us, because Creativity by Gidge is starting it, and then a couple other people are as well, or they've already started it and they're going to be working on it. So maybe I'll come up with a hashtag for that start. So yeah, just like kind of, so like I'm thinking of using this color. Whole point of me showing you is to use it on the border, possibly. I was thinking of the swirly border and then just leaving the flowers and other stuff alone, but I don't know if I'll just do the whole border with like the flowers and the stems and stuff, or if I'll just do the swirly bits in that color and just leave the other ones as gold. I don't know yet, but I'll be doing it on 40 count, 2/1 probably. So that's fun, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. That's still here in about, we're in like May, so we still have like 2 months. 2 months for that. So I'm just like, it's killing me because I want to start it. And then like, I got fabric for these other pieces and I'm just like, I want to start it because they're so pretty and I want to use the fabric because the fabric is gorgeous. But I'm telling myself, no, you have projects you're working on that you want to make progress on. And I think my goal going forward to next year in 2022 is, in order for me to have a start, I'd have at least 2 finishes. So that way, like, I'm not starting things after I finish something, so I can kind of slowly start to whip down, but we'll see how that works. We shall see how that works. So, like, already I've had 2 finishes, so, like, the start in July is fine because I think I've had 2 finishes. Yeah, I did the Curious and Strong, I finished. And then I've also finished Oregon Trail, which is another finish. So I don't feel as bad as starting it because if I'm going with the goal of trying to like whip down, I finished 2, so starting 1 is fine. And then I'm planning on having a new start, the 1st with the Novice Stitcher, and we're gonna be starting Kitty Heaven, and it's a gorgeous piece by Amy Stewart. Gorgeous piece by her. So my goal would to get 2 projects done before then, and I'm hoping I can because I think my goal would, because I'm staying up with the Dark Queen, so essentially I would finish the Dark Queen, that would be 1, and then I would finish this one would be 2. So it would make starting it fine, and then going on I will try and do 2, because a lot of mine are like big projects, so if I can get like a big project done, then like 2 big projects done, then I feel like starting something wouldn't be as bad, because then it would be like a reward or something. I would feel better about myself instead of just like, not that like it's bad, but it's just like I like having projects I can focus on, but if I have so many, it's like hard to like want to work on all of them and whatnot. Ooh, my favorite DMC color, 996. So yeah, the top part of here is a little bit confetti, but that's okay. And I've been talking, so I haven't been like really stitching a whole lot, but that's okay. Hopefully you guys have been stitching or been doing something. So yeah, I'll just weave that in the back. And then continue to stitch. I probably should have a light on, but I have like light coming from the window. So yeah, let me know if this is too dark and I can turn on a light next time. But it's kind of gloomy outside. Look, the sun's not up, even though it probably should be, kind of a thing. Because I think it might be raining today or something like that. The people that won the giveaway, I have your packages packaged up. I just haven't sent them out yet, so apologize. I'm gonna try and get them out today. We'll see, that requires me actually going out, but I want to try and get them out so we can get them sending to you, and then I'll let you know when they've shipped, because it would be good. Good. Okay. I want to try and do what I like do Stitch With Me is every other week I do my floss tube, because I think kind of want to do like the bi-weekly, but I say that and like life happens, so that would be my goal, but whether or not that actually happens is another story altogether. So I'm at like 200 stitches on this one today, so I'm already halfway at my goal, and we're only at, I don't know what time it is, noon, so probably by like 2 I'll have my other 200 stitches, or before that. So that'll be cool. It'll be nice. Oh, and I did get something. So last Saturday, we were looking for my husband's, he wants to get like a gaming computer because he wants to like live stream and like Twitch or something, or another. So we went to Best Buy to see if they had any like computer stuff that he was looking for. He couldn't, so we had to get it online, and that was it took a whole cluster week of things and stuff, but the money's finally been transferred over, and so we purchased that this morning, so hopefully, I think it's supposed to come in here on Thursday, his computers and all stuff, and he thinks they're going to be delayed, but Amazon's pretty good. If it's delayed by a couple days, we'll at least have it before we go, for sure. My thread came undone. And then I think he's just gonna get like one of those like foldable tables for it. So you can kind of see how like the diagonal will come here, the next diagonal. So yeah, so we worked on that, but anyway, last Saturday we were rocking around and went over by where the Switch stuff was, Nintendo, and we had a conversation about like the difference between the regular, and they have like the Nintendo Switch Lite, which I ended up getting. Yes, I know. I don't need another hobby, but I've been wanting it for a while, and we were there. So I ended up getting it, and I'm very happy. I got a game that had 2 in it. I got Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz, and then that came with Sonic Forces, and then I also got The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So I have been playing, I've played almost all of them. I haven't played the Sonic one yet, but I have played Monkey Ball a little bit, and then I've been like really playing Breath of the Wild. It reminds me a lot of like how you would play in Twilight Princess, and that one's one of my favorite ones as well. Yeah. So yeah, so that's another thing that's kind of happened in my life. Might try and do a floss tube update next Saturday. before we go on vacation. Just so that, because if I do it when we get back, then it'll be like 3 weeks, but we'll see. We'll see. Life could change, but, yeah. So we'll be driving up Sunday, and then I think driving back on the next Saturday. So it's a little bit shorter than it was last time we went, but that's okay. That is okay. I'm just glad we get to go see family, as all that I really care about. 9,798. Here we go. So yeah. So I was kind of feeling meh about stitching, and then I think I had ended up I had decided to do like a monthly focus on like a full coverage and a non-full coverage to get at least 1 or 2 days in that month. And then that project last month was 3 fates. And so when I pulled it out, or before I pulled it out to stitch on it, I was like, what if I do cross country in the diagonal? And I was like, wait, somebody does that already. And then I was like, yeah, it was Thread the Needle. I saw her videos come up when she had like her first couple, and so I've like watched her since. But like, she did the parking and then cross country, and so like she's kind of done it where she's doing the cross country by diagonal. And so it's like, this is totally getting me excited about my full coverage again. So I've been doing cross country in the diagonal because I like parking, but for some reason it doesn't click. Well, it clicks, it's just, I don't want to be like, because life happened, I don't want to be stopping threads. I just want to stitch. And to be able to just stitch would be cross country. Stitching until that thread ran out. And so with this one, it's kind of hard to do like top down, because like I do top, and if it doesn't match up, then it's scary. So I would do the row, because I was watching somebody else, I can't remember her name, Leanne Small Town Stitches. So she did the row stitches, and I was doing that, and I really liked that way. As well. And then Stitchin' Mommy would do the pull one strand and work that through. So I'd kind of do the same thing, except for I would do it throughout that, like, pull the next color and stitch it throughout that row. And if I had everything done in that row, I would go down to the next row. So I'm kind of doing the same thing here, if I can count to it easily. So if I had one, like the color I'm working now, like in here, if it was easily counted from here, then I would. If not, I would wait. But I mean, that's just kind of what sparked my full coverage stitching back up. And so I have stitched another 2 full coverage pieces since my last full update with you guys. So forward to that. I was afraid to get on here because I didn't know what to talk about, but it kind of just like evolved, and I scrolled and we found things to talk about, and we've been going for almost an hour. Holy crap. I didn't realize that was how long we were going, but that's okay. I got stitching done. I got to talk to you guys. Hopefully you got some progress done or something done while watching. So it'll be good. Guess I will finish this strand I'm on, and then we will call it a video. And then hopefully next week I will have my floss tube recorded for you guys. I need to go back and respond to everyone that's made a comment. I do see them all. I eventually respond. Sometimes it takes me a while. But know that I do appreciate every one of your comments and whatnot. And I will try and get those packages out today. I want to at least have them out before we go on vacation next week, for sure. I'm off a stitch, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to sweat over it. Boom. I like doing a whole bunch and then highlighting, and then like, because I highlight as I go, because I'm using Pattern Keeper with this one. So as I do a row, I'll like highlight, and then every once in a while I'll hit the check mark, and like my stitch count for the day will like go up super high, and I'm just like, yes. That satisfying feeling like you're making progress on it. The slowly steady progress. I'm gonna take a drink because I literally have been talking all week. And I'm just drinking some Strawberry Crush. Yeah, I got up for work yesterday and I started talking and my voice was like all coarse and harsh, like, oh shoot, I've been talking all week. Voice is not like that. But that's okay. So once we're done here, I can tell you what percent I'm at. I have a few more stitches, but I don't know if I'll be able to make it. Wait a minute. Okay. I was like, does this mean this is off? No. It's just kind of off. Which is fine. Oh, we're gonna play Thread Chicken, aren't we? Wait. Hold up. Anyway. I'm have to doing some budget. But that's okay. And then I will end this and I'll have to do a new strand for like a couple more stitches. Which is fine. So I got a little bit there. I'll have to bring out some more so I can finish those ones. But I thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. Seeing what I've been up to the last several weeks or last month or so. Hope you got quite a bit of stitching or crafting time or cleaning or whatever. Just know that it's okay to not to be okay, but it's also okay to get help. Happy crafting. Bye!